welcome to another lawnfawn video. It's Kelly here, and today we are so excited to be introducing our brand new stamp set, Sweet Strawberry, and its coordinating dies. We also have coloring stencils for Sweet Strawberry too, which are so much fun to use. We're also going to be introducing our Strawberry Fields background stencils. This is a 4-part stencil that creates the cutest strawberry background. It even has these cute little flowers that you can add in the background too. And I love that you can do just strawberries, just flowers, or strawberries and flowers together, which is so awesome. And these all layer so perfectly together and they are so much fun to use. We've included etched guidelines on all of these different stencils so that it's really easy to line up and do all of the layers to create the most perfect background. Then we're also going to be introducing our brand new additions to our Henry Sentiment families. This is Henry's Build a Sentiment Love and Henry's Build a Sentiment Made with Love, and these are both so much fun. So let's go ahead and start checking everything out. First up, we have our Sweet Strawberry stamp set, which has this adorable chocolate-covered strawberry. It also has these individual seeds that you can add into the strawberries or not. It also has some sprinkles that you can decorate with on the strawberries. And we have 2 different styles of smiley faces. We have a normal smiley face and the one with the little eyelashes, and then some rosy cheeks that you could add to each of those smileys. We also have a little individual heart, which is really cute to stamp as sprinkles on the strawberries too. And so here is what the strawberries look like with different ways. You can add the seeds to the top with the full row of seeds, or you can add these little individual trio of seeds, and then in the middle you can add a smiley face. So that's really, really cute too. And then of course you can also add your smiley face into the chocolate covered part of the strawberry, which is my favorite place to add the smiley face, but it just kind of depends on whatever look that you're going for. And then you can take these cute little sprinkles and you can stamp them all into the chocolate, which is so much fun. And you can do the same idea with the heart as well. This mini set has some great sentiments. We have "You Are So Sweet," and then we have "I Love You So Very Much." And they're separate so you can stack them or create them long or just use them on their own. Now we're going to add some color to these adorable strawberries. And first up, I'm going to be using my Copic markers. And I really love this combo of markers. This is a combo that my friend Jen Shirkus uses all the time, and it's just the most beautiful red for strawberries. Then we're going to use these bright yellow greens for the tops of the strawberries too. And then, of course, we're going to work on the chocolate-covered strawberry. And I'm going to do kind of like a milk to dark chocolate, but of course you could change it up. You could do kind of like strawberries that are dipped more in white chocolate. You can just play around with the colors depending on the look you're going for the card. And I really like the look of the sprinkles once you add the brown marker all of the way around. It really makes them pop. Now, of course, we also have the coloring stencil, and it's this little mini coloring stencil that helps you color in the strawberry. You'll see that there's etched guidelines that make it really easy to line up, and we're going to start off with the chocolate part of the strawberry here, and I'm using some dough ink, but you could also use some walnut ink, which would give you kind of like a darker chocolate, and you can see I'm adding a little bit more ink to the left side, and then letting it go lighter towards the right side. Then once we're done with the chocolate part, we can move on to the next part of the stencil. And that's what I love about these stencils. You kind of move down and fill in each part of your cute image. And so now we're going to do the strawberry part. So I'm using some lobster ink here. I'm going to add some to my brush. And then I'm going to add a little bit of darker ink to the left side and then to the right side so that it's lighter towards the center to give it a nice little shadow and give it a 3-dimensional feel. And I think that looks really, really cute too. And it's so easy to do with the stencil. Then, of course, we're going to go ahead and line up the leafy top of the strawberry. And here I'm going to use some jalapeno ink. I love this green. It's just so bright and pretty. And so you'll see I'll add a little bit of darker towards the top and then lighter towards the edges of the green. And it's super easy to do. And I love what a beautiful look you can get with just one color of ink with the coloring stencils. We also have the cute little heart and the sprinkles in the coloring stencil too. And so here I'm just going to use whatever ink is left on my red brush to create some pink little sprinkles here and just lines right up and you just ink over it and look at that. That's absolutely adorable and it's so much fun. So now that we've added color to all of these strawberries, either using the stencils or using markers, we're going to go ahead and take out the coordinating dies, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate. Then we can go ahead and line them up with the strawberry, hold it in place with some low tack tape, and then we'll run it through the die cut machine and we'll have beautifully die cut strawberries. I love all the different styles of strawberries with the cute little seeds and the smiley faces and the sprinkles. There's so many fun and different things you can do. And then you can also layer the die cut sprinkles or hearts onto the strawberries as well, so that's a fun look too. Now, here are the Henry's Build a Sentiment stamp sets. This is the love one. And what I love about Henry's Build a Sentiments is that it's super fun to build sentiments because all of them have the same size rectangular base. So you can pick out all your different words and build lots of custom phrases. You can also mix and match any of the Henry sets together. So you can mix and match this love set with the family set and say something like granddaughter, happy Valentine's Day. So you can really mix and match these in such a fun way. And then the stamps have a natural cling, so as you line them up, you can see they just kind of stick right together just like that. I like to build my phrase on my work surface like this, and then I pick it up with the block. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So now here I'll bring in my clear block and pick it up, and now I have the perfect custom sentiment to stamp out. And this one just makes me smile. It says, "You are my favorite person." And I love this set because it's cute to give to your husband or significant other, but there's also a lot of friendship phrases as well, which I think is really, really great. And so here I'm going to go ahead and build another phrase. And again, I can just stick them all together. They have the same size rectangular base, and you'll see how easily they kind of cling together. I can build my perfect phrase and then just pick it up with my block. And then this one says, "I'm lucky you're my friend," which I think is just so sweet. So you can go from more of a love card to a friendship card with this sentiment set. And then I can keep building other phrases. And so this one I'm going to build sending hugs to you, but there's also like sending hugs and kisses. And so you can see how much fun it is to mix and match all of these together. There are so many different phrases that you can create with this Henry set. And so here's just an example of some of the phrases that you can make. "You're my one and only" is so cute. I love "Happy Galentine's Day," which is so much fun. So there's so many cool things that you can do with it. These and much, much more. So now we're going to take a look at that strawberry field stencil. And here I have some Ballet Slippers ink, and I'm going to die cut this with the largest of the outside in stitched rectangles. And then I'm going to go ahead and stencil on top of this. And this 4-part stencil is just so much fun to use. And first up, I'm going to start off with the strawberries part. And I'm going to start off with some bubblegum ink, which is a nice pink ink. And so I'm going to go across these strawberries. I'm going to have them be a little bit darker towards one side than the other. So you'll see I'm just kind of going across each individual strawberry and just adding on the ink. Now, of course, you could just do one color of ink, but I really wanted there to be a nice kind of shading onto each of these strawberries. So I'm going to be bringing in some guava ink next, which is a darker pink ink to layer over top. And so now I'm going to bring that ink. You'll see I kind of lift up the stencil to see if I like how it's looking, and I think it's looking really nice. So I'm going to bring in the guava ink, and because I have that bubblegum ink underneath, it's going to give this beautiful shadow onto all of the strawberries. And so now we can lift up the stencil, and look how beautiful this is looking. Ugh, I just love it. Next up, we're going to take the leafy tops to the strawberries here, and we're going to line them up. And there's etched guidelines on the stencil, so it makes it really easy to line up. And we're going to do 2 colors of green ink, just like we did 2 colors of the pink ink for the strawberries. So I'm starting off with some celery stick ink, and then I'm going to bring in some jalapeno ink to add a little bit of kind of a little shadow to each of these little leafy tops. So now we're going to go in with the celery stick, and then I'll come back in with the jalapeno, just layering these over top. And I just love these layering stencils. There's something so much fun about going through all the different layers and adding all of the different colors onto it. It's just, I don't know, I just have a blast with it. And so now what's great here is you can lift this up and you could stop right here. So this is so super cute, and you could just leave the strawberries like this. But then we have our third step of the stencil, which is this nice little detail part for the strawberries. This part has both the seeds for the strawberries and also the centers for the flowers. And so I'm going to be using smaller brushes so that I can add detail to the different parts of the stencil. So I'm starting off with some black licorice ink, and I'm going to go over all of the seeds for the strawberries. And of course, you could just do that and leave out the flower center. So you could just do the seeds and just have a cute little strawberry background. That's what I love about the stencils. You can kind of mix and match and get different looks for it. The other thing about the little centers for the flowers is they kind of look like polka dots. So you could even not add the flower part and just do that. And I love that you can get so many different looks with this. So now we've added all the seeds, and now I'm going to go in with some sunflower ink and add a little bit to the flower centers there. And so we're just going to go around, and you can see how these kind of almost look like little polka dots too. So I love, once again, that there's so many ways to mix and match this stencil together. And now my favorite part always is lifting up for the reveal. And isn't that so cute? And so next we have our last part of the stencil, which are these cute little flowers. The other thing that's fun about these flowers is that you could just use the flowers on their own as well without the strawberries. So it's just as adorable. And so we're going to line those up there, and I'm going to use some Yeti ink because I really wanted them to be white flowers. And as I lifted up, I realized it was getting a little bit goopy. All you need to do is make sure you pounce with the white pigment ink instead of smearing. I was smearing it a little bit too much. So as I pounced, it fixed any of that goopiness and gave me some beautiful flowers. You can see how gorgeous they're looking. And I'm just going back in and just inking up any areas that might not be as well inked and just pouncing onto the stencil with the white pigment ink. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I just love this so much. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and next we're going to work on the rest of the whole card that we're creating here. And so I'm going to take out some pastel pearlescent vellum. This stuff is so beautiful, and there is a pink color in it. There's a bunch of different shades, and I just think it is just beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and die cut this with a coordinating die, actually. It's a coordinating die to these beautiful large sentiments, and it's this great scalloped oval. And so I'm going to use that, but I'm just going to be using that without the sentiments. I'm going to use this as a fun little oval to add my die cut strawberries onto. So here I've got my sweet strawberry stamp set, which is such a cute match for the strawberry background. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp color and die cut some of these strawberries here. And I've added the smiley face into the chocolate covered part of the strawberry. And then I'm going to use the brand new Scripty Love outline and the Scripty Love die. And I'm going to be using some white cardstock and also some chocolate bar cardstock so that it goes along with the chocolate covered strawberries, which I think is really cute. I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back of that die cut Scripty Love, and then we can layer it onto the outline base, and you can see it just gives it this beautiful pop. And I love that the brown colored cardstock goes so well with our chocolate covered strawberries. And then I'm going to take a white gel pen and just add some white gel pen details. I think it makes everything pop, and I like that it also goes along with the white flowers that we inked onto the background. And so I'm just going to add those white gel pen details onto the word love too, which I think really helps it pop as well. Now to finish up the sentiment, we have I love you so very much in the stamp set. I'm just going to stamp out the you so very much part since we've replaced the word love with our Scripty Love die cut. And then I'm going to take a sentiment banner here and I'm going to line it up with my phrase. And you'll see that this banner is a bit long, but that's okay. We can create a custom size. So we're going to line it up on the left-hand side and run that through the die cut machine. And then we're going to line it up on the right-hand side exactly to match the left side, and we can run it through the die cut machine again, and that's going to give us a custom-sized sentiment. Then I'm going to add some foam squares to the back of all of these pieces because I want everything to have a nice pop on there. And I'm going to start by adding the word love on first because that's going to kind of give me exactly where everything else is going to need to be placed. And then we can go ahead and add the rest of the sentiment that's on the banner. And I'm just going to have that kind of layer underneath so it just kind of ties them all together. And then we can add our strawberries on with foam squares too. Now, vellum can be tricky because you have to find a way to hide the adhesive, but the good thing is we can hide all of that adhesive behind all of these die cuts. So I'm just going to flip this whole piece over, and then I can just almost add foam exactly where I had added foam before, and that's going to give me a nice pop, and I won't have to worry about hiding any of my adhesive anywhere else because it can just hide right behind the die cuts. And then we can peel up the liner paper on that and then add this on. And I love this because we spent so much time stenciling such a beautiful background, and the vellum allows that background to still shine through, which I just love. I think this is just so much fun, and that pearlescent quality of the vellum is just so pretty. Now here I have a standard size card base. It's 5.5 by 4.25 out of some white cardstock, and we're just going to add some adhesive to the back of this whole panel that we created, and then we can layer that onto the card. And I really like the white border around. It brings in the Scripty Love and the so very much and all of those white gel pen details that we created as well. And so now this card is all done, and I had so much fun creating the card. Stenciling backgrounds is just such a blast, and I love how cute the strawberry field stencil looks with these adorable sweet strawberries. Next up, we're going to be using the awesome Henry's Build a Sentiment Love stamp set to create a cute custom sentiment. Here we have some Ballet Slippers cardstock, and we're going to mix and match some adorable words from this set that says, "You make my heart happy." And we're going to be stamping that in some clear embossing ink. So we already prepped the cardstock with an anti-static powder tool. Then we can go ahead and stamp in this nice sticky ink onto the Ballet Slippers cardstock. Then we'll sprinkle on some white heat embossing powder, and we can top off any of the excess. And then we can heat it with our heat tool, and it's going to give this beautiful, nice, bright, white, shiny sentiment, which I think looks so pretty on the pink cardstock. And now that our sentiment is heat embossed, we can go ahead and take one of these sentiment banner dies and die cut this. And we're going to be adding this onto a hot foiled card. So it's going to be such a pretty way to add nice focus to this fun sentiment. We're going to be using our hot foil machine here, our glimmer machine. I went ahead and turned it on and the green light was on so I could add my floral heart hot foil plate onto there. We're going to press this timer button here and you'll see that green light's going to flash for about a minute. We're going to fast forward in time here. And once that light is nice solid green, we're ready to hot foil. So we're going to take this beautiful gold sparkly foil and we're going to put that face down onto our hot foil plate. And then we're going to take some cardstock here. This is some white cardstock. And then we're going to take the two plates that come with the machine. And then you can take this whole thing off and we're going to run it through our die cut machine off camera and then bring it back and you'll see that we're going to have this beautiful hot foiled heart. Now, this heart does line up with our stitched happy heart die, so you can die cut it, but in this case, we're actually going to die cut it with a square die instead. So here we have our stitched square stackables, and we're just going to be die cutting this heart. So we're just going to line it up with the heart in the center, and I just love this. This is just so pretty, and we're going to go ahead and run that through the die cut machine. And then here we have a square card base, and we're going to add some of our champagne foiled metallic cardstock. I love this metallic cardstock so much, and this champagne color is so pretty. Then we can bring that hot foiled heart right on top, and so we're going to add some tape runner to the back of that and layer that. And I love this because there's going to be so much sparkle and shine with both the border around the heart and also with the heart that we hot foiled. Then we can bring in that sentiment that we heat embossed earlier, and we're just going to add some foam tape to the back to give it a nice pop. This is going to be a nice clean and simple card, and this card was inspired by some cards by Yanea, so thank you so much, Yanea. Then we can layer the sentiment right over the foiled heart. And then last but not least, we're going to use some of our new twine. This is the latte color. It's a nice thin twine and it's made out of hemp. So when you tie a bow with it, the bow really stays like nice and fluffy. It's just so cute. So we're just going to trim off any of the excess of the strings here and then take a little small glue dot and just hide that behind the knot of the bow so that we can layer the bow right there onto the card. And you'll see just how cute this is going to look. And that latte color really matches that champagne foiled cardstock in the background. So I like that everything really goes together. And this card is just so cute, so simple, but so pretty, and would just make anyone's day. So now we can just trim off any of the excess, and here you can see just how sparkly and fun this is. It's a fun way to feature those super fun sentiments in all of the different Henry sets. I just think it's adorable. Next up, Shari is going to create a super cute card that was inspired by a box of chocolates. So take it away, Shari.
Today I'm recreating a card idea from Elise, so thank you so much, Elise. I have those 9 little strawberries and I'm going to set those aside and we'll take a look at them here in a little bit. I have a piece of 12 by 12 hot toddy paper from the favorite flannel collection, and I'm going to cut this with the largest of the outside in stitched rectangles. I'm also going to pull out one of the lacy rectangle stackables to create a box of chocolate covered strawberries. I'm using some papers from the pint-sized patterns summertime collection. I'm pulling out this fun white with the little polka dots. And I was also going to use the pink, but I decided to just go with some guava cardstock. And I'll be cutting that lacy rectangle from the guava cardstock. And then I'm also cutting a rectangle that will nest inside from the polka dot paper. So this is going to make kind of a fancy box of chocolates. I thought it would be fun to look like it's a pink box, and then like they put a fun piece of patterned tissue paper inside to keep the sweets from sticking to the box. So I measured and found the coordinating stitch rectangle that fits inside this lacy rectangle, and I'll just layer these two together and you get that really fun pink frame around it. So this is just going to match my strawberries and give a nice pop of color, but I like having that white as the background so that the strawberries will stand out. So I will go ahead and add this plaid paper to my card base. I get that nice white border around all the sides. And then for this card, I'm adding some twine. So I have that teal twine that I'm wrapping around and tying in a bow on the left side. It almost is like a box of strawberries was tied up with some twine, and then they untied it and left it there when they opened it up. I'll just trim off the extra tails for these, and I've actually already put my foam squares on the back of this panel. You can see that I have them towards the top and towards the bottom, and I kind of avoided the middle where my twine is going to be. I'm just doing some adjustments to the bow to make sure it is far enough to the left so that it peeks out right on the edge of those lacy scallops. Now for my strawberries, I kind of already arranged them in the way that I wanted them to be. So in each row we have a vanilla strawberry with a face, a chocolate strawberry with some sprinkles, and a strawberry, and I added that cute little heart just so that it wasn't too plain. And so I'm laying them out where I want them to be, and you can see some of them overlap. So what I'm actually going to do is use thin foam squares for the ones that are going to be overlapped and thick foam squares for the ones that are on top. Between the varying heights of foam and the strawberries turned different directions and the variety of coatings on our candied strawberries here, we get a lot of interest on this card and this box of strawberries. Now that I have all my strawberries in place, I can work on my sentiment, and I'm using some stamps from Henry's Build a Sentiment Love. And I just have a little strip of some ballet slipper cardstock. I'm just going to hand cut some little rectangular banners. So I'm stamping Sweetheart on one end and To My on the other, and I'm going to cut this into two separate rectangles that will fit in between the strawberries. So I'm just using my scissors to cut them down. Once I got them cut, I felt like my banner was a little too fat. I wanted to kind of thin it up a little bit. So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim it down just a little bit more so it's closer to the word. I wanted to see more strawberries and less of this little sentiment. And then I'll do the same to the piece that goes on top. So I'll add a little bit of foam or liquid glue depending on where these little banners fall. This one just needed a couple little foam squares to go in between those strawberries, and I love how this sentiment is kind of incorporated into this box of sweet chocolate covered strawberries. And of course we need to add some sugar or glitter. So I'm adding some to the little hearts and a little bit to the bottom of some of the strawberries like they've been dipped in sugar. And I just think this adds some really fun interest and detail to this card. So here is my finished card inspired by the box of chocolate-covered strawberries by Elise.
This card is just so cute, Shari, and I love the sentiment that you added over top. The To My Sweetheart is just adorable. And next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team. And this one by Yanea is so sweet. She stenciled our adorable little strawberries onto some pattern paper, which I think looks so beautiful. And I can't wait to make a card just like this one. Next up, we have a super fun and unique card by Maureen. She's got these cute little strawberries bathing in a whole bath of chocolate, and this just cracked me up. I think it's just so adorable and so unique. This card by Audrey is so sweet, and she shows that the Strawberry Fields stencil is a perfect match for some old strawberry themed favorites like our Outside In Stitch Strawberry and also our Berry Special Mice. I love this card with Sweet Strawberries by Tammy. The awesome layered heart stencil in the background is perfect for these adorable little strawberries. Here, Letitia layered our strawberries onto the doily, and I think that's just the most perfect look. I absolutely love this card. It's so much fun with the washi tape in the background, too. And then this card by Grace is so great. I love how she added chocolate into our How You bean jar. It's just adorable with the chocolate-covered strawberries in the doily. This one by Elena is so sweet. I love the pink strawberry background that she created. It works so great with the love you so very much sentiment. The Love Ya a Waffle Lot is just adorable. I love that the waffle is a perfect match to our strawberry. This card by Megan is just too sweet. And here, Mindy added our awesome strawberries into our How You bean jar, and it works so great with that strawberry stencil. And then here is the card by Elise that inspired Shari to make hers today. I just love the idea of creating your own custom little box of chocolates with these. And then these little treat bags by Anea are so sweet. I love the strawberries mixed with the doily and the sentiments. It's just so much fun. And then here, this card by Rebecca is just adorable. I love the strawberries in the background and how they're using the little speech bubbles and they're talking to each other. So we cannot wait to see all of your awesome strawberry things and your Henry's Build the Sentiment cards, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye.